Hey, it's James from survivalpunk.com. And it is not a chilly morning. It is a nice morning. And today we're going to continue our tool talk with 5 more tools. Which is weird because I swear I added one. Where did that go? Anyway, these are going to be 5 more tools that you need for your everyday home repairs, for projects that will fix 90%. Above this, you get into specialty tools, like ones that you need once. And a lot of those are better to be rented. Or another good trick is a lot of those tools that you only need like once. People often in the same situation as you will buy them, use them, and then throw them on Facebook Marketplace. Generally, you can get it a bit less, right? So you can talk to them and get it for a bit under what they paid, so that it's basically a rental cost for them. Like they paid like $150 brand new for a luxury vinyl plank, an LVP cutter, right? Instead of using a utility knife and scoring it and breaking it, they are like, fuck it, I'm just going to buy the tool that you push down and you cut them, because they just have money to throw at problems. I mean, I used the utility knife and it worked just fine. Anyway, I only did like my tiny house, tiny bathroom though. So they're throwing it up there. You probably can talk them down to like $125 at least, right? So for them, they rented it for the use that they needed for like $25, which would be perfectly acceptable, right? No sane person expects to get back exactly what they paid, right? So anyway, you get it, you use it, and then you do the same damn thing, right? And second, like, you probably can get the same that you paid for it, or knock a few more dollars off, right? So that's a good technique. Before we get into all of this, though, let's take a listen to our morning theme music.
Dirt in my veins, hammer in my fist, breaking chains, worn out gloves, yeah, my battle gear, fixing the world one nail, one tear, sweat drips.
And we're back. First up on the list is hammers. If you somehow don't have a hammer, you should get a hammer. And that first main hammer should just be a general run-of-the-mill claw hammer. You don't need a specialty hammer. For the most part, just a normal run-of-the-mill claw hammer will do everything you need. No need to get a ball peen. You're probably not going to ball peen anything. No need to spend extra money to get the fanciest, most expensive framer's hammer, because you're probably not going to be framing for a living. And I wouldn't get the cheapest one either, right? I would get a medium expensive hammer. Generally, my rule of thumb is, for a lot of things, not for everything, but for a lot of things, I will find the cheapest thing in the store that I'm trying to buy, right? So I'll look around and let's just use toilet paper, right? We'll find the cheapest toilet paper. It is probably 94 cents for 4 rolls of toilet paper. Seems like a great deal. It is absolute horseshit. Doesn't matter what store you're in, right? Every store has the 94 cent 4-pack. Walmart, Dollar General, the fucking grocery store. Everybody has the 94 cents rolls. They suck. They will stick, they will break, they will not, they suck. Then look for the next cheapest one. Whatever that is a good value, right? The second cheapest thing. No, it's not the best. No, it's not going to last the longest, whatever it is. But it is going to be good. If you go into a hardware store and you find the cheapest drill, generally the next cheapest drill will do just fine, right? You go in there and you find a $50. What is that? What is that shitty brand? I don't know. $50 generic tool. The next cheapest one probably is fine, right? You're probably starting to look at some of the actual like brand name ones, like for example, Milwaukee, DeWalt, uh, Milwaukee, DeWalt. What is that other one? There's definitely a third big name brand, and my mind is completely blanking on it. Generally, though, Milwaukee and DeWalt are going to be your best bets. Makita, that's the other one I was trying to think of. Yeah, so Milwaukee, DeWalt, and Makita will be your top best ones. Ryobi does fine. I'm really considering grabbing the Milwaukee Power Tool Combo Kit. It's about half the price of DeWalt's. You get drill and impact drill, circular saw, and 2 more tools. Usually the last one is something stupid like a stand-up light. But, whatever. They got to throw in something. Usually the other one is something like a Sawzall or a reciprocating one. Both of those solid tools you should have. Let's move on. So eventually, though, you will need some more hammers. Having a claw hammer is a great first one. You can do everything with it, right? Eventually, at some point, though, because they're cheap and they're readily available, you probably should get a rubber mallet as your second one. Until you get that, though, you can always just use your claw hammer with like a block of wood, sometimes even with like fabric on it to make it even cushier. That way you're not tearing stuff up, right? If you're trying to put down LVP flooring and you're trying to move it into place and you're using your claw hammer without a block on it, you're going to just chip and break away at it. Like, yeah, it'll probably move, but also you're probably going to break it. You need something to cushion and distribute the blow. And that's where a rubber mallet comes in. So, let's move on. Tape measure. You're going to absolutely need a tape measure, and you'll learn how to use it well. How to read the numbers on it, and how to... There are tips and tricks on how to measure in certain instances to get a more accurate number. So if you're measuring like inside of a closet or something, where the bend in the tape measure, like where do you call that number at? Because it's bent up in the air. Like you have to kind of visualize it. There are tricks where you can measure and then move over, and then you have your perfect number, and you'll have it actually perfect measurement. There are a lot of tips and tricks. And learning the fractions, I'm not good with the fractions. I'm so not good with the fractions. If I get better, it will definitely improve my ability to use a tape measure. But, hello, police officer. Especially if you're working with someone, right? If you've measured something and they're like, hey, what do I need to cut this at? And you're like, oh, good, he's going the other way. Measured at 8 and 3 lines. And they're like, what? Yeah, measured at 8 and 3 lines. That's not... If the person is in the trades and they use a tape measure, they're going to destroy you. Learn what it's supposed to be. Note to myself, get better at it. Anyway, now let's move on. Oh yeah, then we covered that. Preferably also as a tape measure. There is a huge amount of quality differences, right? And sometimes you can get ones that are really fancy and they have laser levels and a whole bunch of bullshit. I recently, for Christmas, got a tape measure that just has freedom numbers on it. American, is it Imperial? We're Imperial, they're metric. Yes, has Imperial numbers on it. Having a bunch of, you don't need centimeters and millimeters, and it keeps your line from going all the way across. It isn't great. Your accuracy isn't great. Don't do that shit. I don't know. I don't know why they do that. The tape measure I've had for years that I've used a lot and cut and measured had imperial and metric on it, and it was always an annoyance, right? Never liked it. So don't do that. That's my tip. Next. Oh, yeah, level. Okay. Next is a level. This is very important. You will use it a shit ton. I think I have a bonus one if we can get through these fast enough. Hanging pictures, hanging a shelf on the wall, building anything, you need a level. Technically, you should also make that level. You should also have a square. The triangle measurement device, you need one of those. A lot of those, not all of those, but a lot of those have like the spirit level inside of them, so you can check level on that too. So if you're only going to buy one, you could get away with by just buying a square, or there are things you can do to avoid having a square. I just think you should have one. So get a square. When you get your square, eventually, if you do enough building and woodworking, you'll probably have multiple different versions of squares. Having a T-square would have been excellent when I was doing drywall. That would have really helped out a lot. I just have like a fairly large square, maybe 3 feet, which is a fairly good one. Having a shorter one, not the worst. Like there's a lot of times where my square is so big it is difficult to maneuver and use. So there's that. It's definitely one of those things where if you build long enough and you repair things long enough, you'll end up with multiple ones, right? You'll come to a situation where you need a variant and you'll have to get it. But for a basic beginner kind of toolkit, just having like a 3-foot level is just fine. Because you can. I also use it as a straight edge often. And is it 3 feet or 4 feet? It's probably 3 feet. Yeah, I think it's pretty. If it was 4 foot long, it would be even better for what I'm about to tell you. Is it 4 feet? Anyway, I will, if I'm making circular saw cuts, what I'll do is I'll make my measurements on my piece of wood. So on both sides of the wood, there's a mark at like, say, 3 feet. And I'll take my level and I'll put it on the piece of wood. And I'll have clamps, and I'll take my circular saw, I'll put it right on the mark, or left or right of the mark, so that I can accommodate for the kerf, the amount the blade is going to tear out, so that my piece of wood is cut to the exact right measurement. So I'll put it there, and then I'll butt the level up to it, and I'll clamp it down so it can't move. Then I'll go to the other side, and I'll do the same thing, and I'll do the same thing, right? I'll clamp down the level on that side in the exact right spot, and then my circular saw just has to. I have a saw guide, right? So I can only cut on that line. I just push against it and push the circular saw across, and my cuts come out perfect. So you don't need to buy an expensive saw guide. You can use your level. And I've done that for years, and it's worked just fine. So let's move on. I think the next one is headlamp. Headlamp, flashlight. These are very, very useful and very important. Um, and as a survivalist, you probably have this anyway, right? There's a lot of times when you're working on various house and or car projects, and you need illumination in the right spot, but you're using both your hands. Um, you could have kids to yell at and traumatize, and that's an option, right? You just have a flashlight and a kid. That works. Or you can get a headlamp or some variation thereof, right? And you probably should have multiple variants. They make ones that clip on ball caps or are ball caps. I want to say my mother-in-law got me a beanie cap with a built-in light. She gets some really weird stuff. Some of it's pretty neat. Some of it's just weird though. So anyway, a headlamp. It'll if you're working on something and you need to see, but you need both your hands. Fantastic, fantastic. Another good option is flashlights and or lanterns that have magnetic bases. A lot of my lights will have a magnetic base, and if I'm working on like a car, under the hood, I'll take the lantern and I'll stick it to the hood. I'll stick it to the hood on the inside, turn it on, and then the whole thing is illuminated, and I can see. That is a great feature. And if you don't have a magnetic lantern, flashlight, etc., do consider getting one. I don't even know what the brand is. I have a little yellow one that's just fantastic. I love that thing. And they're all rechargeable now. So no batteries. Or the batteries themselves are rechargeable. I got to get some rechargeable 18650s. I think we're coming up on the last one. Step ladder. Yeah. Awesome. Last is the step ladder. Step ladder slash ladder. It would behoove you to have a dedicated step ladder for the times that you need a step ladder. Because if you don't have a step ladder, you, if you're a man, are going to do something stupid 100% of the time. There are too many clips and videos out there of men needing to reach something and not having an appropriate ladder and just stacking random bullshit up. I have done this. I have worked on our front porch area. We have a tarp, and I've definitely gone up there and hung it or rehung it or worked on it by stepping on inverted 5-gallon buckets that were structurally compromised, i.e., we had one point used them for gardening, so there's holes drilled in it in the part that I was stepping, and it's old and brittle. I didn't fall, but that bucket was not in good shape, and it could have collapsed at any moment. Had I had a step ladder, I would have used an step ladder. And that's just one example. There's so many times where, so when I built my tiny house, I built a nice ladder to the loft it hooks on there. So the thing is, what I do is when I need to access any of the top areas of the house, I can just pick up the ladder and move it over there. And I use that a lot. There are so many times where that ladder absolutely saves the day. I need to get above the bathroom area where like the Christmas ornaments and spare clothes are stored. I need to get above the kitchen area where old appliances and the pressure cooker and all that shit's at. I use it a ton. You got to have a step ladder. Absolutely. And with that, that is 5 more tools that you need to have for home and car repairs. And this has been James for StrawPunk.com. DIY to survive, you guys.
Dirt in my veins, hammer in my fist breaking chains, worn out gloves, yeah, my battle gear, fixing the world one nail, one tear. Sweat drips down like molten steel, no surrender, no time to kneel. Give me tools, yeah, yeah, give me tools. Build it up, break it down, no rules. Give me tools, yeah, yeah, give me tools. My hands, my will, my burning fuel. Sawdust clouds like a storm inside, blueprint dreams that won't subside. Drill in my hand tearing through time, DIY soul in its filthy prime. Brick by brick, I carve my name. With every cut, I stake my claim. Give me tools, yeah, yeah, give me tools. Build it up, break it down, no rules. Give me tools, yeah, yeah, give me tools. My hands, my will, my burning fuel. Brick, I carve my name. With every cut I stake my claim. Give me tools, yeah, yeah, give me tools. Build it up, break it down, no rules. Give me tools, yeah, yeah, give me tools. My hands, my will, my burning fuel. Give me tools. My hands, my will, my burning fuel. Break it down, no rules.